We'll begin with the Toastmasters promise. I believe we also all have it before us. You can recite it quietly as I also recite it. The Toastmasters promise. I begin. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program. I promise to prepare and fulfill my meeting, prepare for and fulfill my meeting assignments, to provide my fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. I promise to help the club maintain positive and friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow. I promise to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with utmost respect and courtesy. I promise to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters International membership offers. I promise to adhere to the guidelines and the rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition program. And finally, I promise to act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Then I move on straight to the Toastmasters pledge, which is our club mission. The Pecten Toastmasters International, the Pecten Toastmasters Club, our club mission and our pledge is to provide mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. Having said all that, I'll be handing over to our gorgeous president for the opening speech. You are welcome again. Please put your hands together as I invite President TM Tari to the virtual lecture.
Thank you.
It's yours, madam.
I receive it. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mufti, our Sergeant at Arms. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I hope you can hear me clearly. There's something in my throat that's not really allowing me to speak loudly, but I'll try and project as much as I can.
We can
this
hear
is
you
beyond
clearly.
my control. Good. So how are we all doing? It's been 2 weeks since our last meeting. I believe everyone is fine. Like I always say, I know you're alive and well because I see you here. So welcome to August. Welcome to our month of peace, as peace is the theme for this month in Pecten Toastmasters Club. I wonder what peace means to you. I know what peace means to me, but I'm sure that if I go around the room and I ask each and every one, our answers will almost likely be the same thing, right? Peace is really not the absence of any problem. Peace is really not the absence of chaos around you. It's really not the absence of any worry in your life. Peace is actually just, for me, it's a mindset that irrespective of what's going on around you, you have determined in your mind to actually live in harmony. And harmony, I see, is the word of the day for us here in today's meeting. So what does peace really mean to you? Have you sat down and thought about that? Because we live in a world where there are definitely going to be ups and downs. There are definitely going to be issues, whether we like it or not. But it depends on you and depends on me to make up our mind to actually be in that peaceful realm. It's actually a state of mind. And that's what peace is to me. And I hope that's what it is to you too. So welcome again to another meeting in this new Pecten year. I'm glad to see all the faces on the screen. I hope we'll have more videos come on. I see more people have joined the call. We have 19 in number, and that's really great for the start of the meeting. I wouldn't want to take too much time. We have quite a lot to go through today, and I'd want to hand over the virtual lectern to our Toastmaster of the day, who is the president of Oil City Speakers Club, Toastmaster Toasting Olorunleke, as he rolls the ball and we go ahead in today's meeting. I'd like everyone to participate. If you're called upon to participate in the table topics, you're called upon to answer a question, anything at all, please feel free. I'd like to reiterate that Toastmasters Club is a safe learning space for people who want to become excellent communicators and leaders. It's a place where we are safe to fail, but we are failing forward. You learn from every experience here. So please do not be shy. If you're called upon, even if you're a guest, but I know we have a lot of guests here today, even if you're a guest and you're called upon to play a role, just be brave about it. I mean, climbing the staircase, you don't have to see the entire thing, just take the first step. So over to you, Toastmaster Toasting, and welcome once again, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tari. It's always a pleasure to hear you speak. Thank you for having me at your club. Toastmaster President, Dr. Tari. I'm sure there are more titles that I'm missing, but I'll do my assignment next time and find them. Thanks for that reminder that peace is not the absence of chaos. I think it's a very important one. And I just want to say, as much as we hope this meeting will be peaceful, we also hope that there will be no chaos. But if there is chaos, you have heard from the president herself, let us have the kind of mindset that ensures that we still learn and enjoy ourselves regardless. Today, I will be your Toastmaster of the day. And that means I will be anchoring today's meeting, transitioning from one segment to another. You might be wondering what's in store for us today. If you haven't had a look at the agenda, first, we will be having our table topics, which is open to everyone in the meeting room, whether you're a guest or whether you're a Toastmaster. So when the president was emphasizing participation, that is a very big opportunity for participation. Then we'd have the prepared speech segment. And today, I think it's a panel discussion or a presentation actually from our president. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And finally, we will be having the evaluation segment. Every segment is important, so please stick around up until the very end. Today, I have a wonderful bunch of people whose names you can already see on the screen. They will be playing various roles, and I will be calling them now to introduce their roles to us. The first is Toastmaster Chika, the immediate past president of Oil City Speakers Club, my very good friend as well. I always mention he's my very good friend because he always mentions it as well. And his favorite quote is "Stay jiggy." So you already have an idea the kind of person Toastmaster Chika is. He's a joker. Toastmaster Chika, please introduce your role to us as the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President of Oil City Speakers Club, and thanks to everybody for giving me this opportunity. The purpose of the General Evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chika. The next role player I'll be calling to the podium is our counter. And this person is she's a data analyst. Just a reminder, please, that if you're not speaking, kindly mute your microphone to avoid any distractions and interruptions. She is a data analyst and she's a great mind because we both share the same favorite quote. So, great minds think alike. I'm talking about Toastmaster Joy Equity James. And if you're wondering what that quote is, actually, it says, whether you think or you can or you can't, you're probably right. And that's by Henry Ford. Toastmaster Joy, please introduce your role to us.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Toastmaster of the day, I think. Toastmaster of the day. My name is Joy, and today I'll be the counter and listen evaluator. My job is to take note of pause, fillers, and catchwords that we use when we don't have what to say. And in Toastmasters, it's a training ground for being better speakers. So we're trying as much as possible, or we try as much as possible to eradicate those pause fillers. So I'll be looking out for those and taking notes so that we'll take feedback and try to reduce the way we use them. I'll also, I'll also be taking note of words that stand out for me to test our listening skills. And when I read out those words, I'll ask for who said what those words are, or those phrases or sentences are. And then at the end of the day, I'll be called to give my evaluation. And it's back to you, Toastmaster, today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. At this point, I'll be introducing the grammarian. Our grammarian is also the Vice President Education of this wonderful club, and she also happens to be a professional baby girl. So if you want to push her ministry, send her dollars. I'm sure she would really appreciate that. On that note, I'd like to invite Toastmaster SA to introduce her role to us today.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. And thank you for that lovely, authentic introduction. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'll be serving as the grammarian. My role would entail listening to both correct and incorrect usage of grammar. In addition, I would be introducing the word of the day, which we're encouraging everyone who speaks, listens, or thinks in today's meeting to use actively. The word of the day is harmony, and it means when things seem right or suitable together. Or it can also mean agreement in action, opinion, or feelings. An example in using the word of the day is our intention is that man and animals live in harmony. Another example, tourism develops in harmony with the environment. Common synonyms are friendship, goodwill, rapport, consensus, unity. I do believe that everyone who participates in today's session would live in harmony. I encourage us all to use the word of the day, and I hope that our bank accounts will always be in harmony with our dreams and desires. Please use the word of the day actively, and I'll be back at the end of the meeting to give my report. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster SA. The next role player will be our timer. Our timer is a nomadic Toastmaster. If you are a Toastmaster, you know what I'm talking about because I'm sure she's always at Pecten. She's always at LCC Speakers Club as well. She is the Vice President Education of Lento Toastmasters Club and the Secretary of Victoria Bay Toastmasters Club. We call her the Red Leader, who is capable of selling just about anything. I'm talking about Toastmaster Josephine Agolo.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Tosin, our Toastmaster of the Day, for the warmth of your welcome. But you got my profile all mixed up. I'm here for peace, but in order to avoid wowuless, let me put my profile in order. Secretary for Lento Toastmasters Club, Vice President membership for Victoria Bay Toastmasters Club. Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. My role for today is your timer. Time, they say, wait for no man. And as such, in order for us to be in harmony of what we are going to be doing here in terms of the time usage, I'm going to be explaining to us how we are going to be using time here. Like it has been said, the Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is the extemporaneous speaking segment, the table topics. At that time, we are meant to speak for a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So at 1 minute, I'll be flashing the green card on the screen. So kindly pin me to your screen, the timer, if you're going to be speaking today. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will be flashing the amber card, which is also known as the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll be flashing the red card. Please don't rush. You still have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech, just so that your speech will be eligible for voting. Then the second aspect of the meeting is the educational segment. This is where Toastmasters have prepared speeches based on their pathways, and they come here to deliver to us. Yes, we have just one speech in line today. That speech will last for 18 to 22 minutes. So at 18 minutes, I'll be flashing the green card. At 20 minutes, I'll be flashing the yellow card. And at 22 minutes, I'll be flashing the red card. Now, the last part of the meeting is the evaluation segment. Please, all of our role players, you have 2 minutes to give your feedback in respect of your roles. So at 1 minute, I'll flash the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll flash the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll flash the red card. Then for the evaluator that will be evaluating the speech, the prepared speech, he or she has 3 minutes to evaluate the speech. So at 2 minutes, I'll flash the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll flash the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll flash the red card. The evaluator also have 30 minutes, 30 seconds more to wrap up the speech, to wrap up the evaluation. And I'm sure with my explanation, we are going to be in harmony in the usage of our time. And it's back to you, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Tosi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Josephine. So when I was introducing Toastmaster Josephine, I forgot to mention that she is very energetic, so much energy, but I'm sure she has shown you that she is. By the way, with all of that explanation, if anyone passes their time and disrupts the harmony of this meeting, you'll pay a fine. Just warning you beforehand. On that note, we'll be moving to the first segment of the meeting, which will be anchored by our table topics master. I'm meeting her for the first time, but I can tell that she is kind and she's willing to serve because no one volunteers to play a role without being interested in service. Talking about the wonderful Toastmaster Fumi Daramola, who will introduce her role and proceed to anchor the table topic segment. Toastmaster Fumi.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for that introduction. Well, I have seen you before, and well, I guess this is a good time for us to meet. So fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I welcome you all warmly to this session. And I think that this is one of the most exciting parts, and I'm super excited to be alive today and also to anchor this segment. And like Josephine said, everybody is going to have a chance to speak, but you know, you should also be mindful of your time. So this is a table topics segment, and I think it's the most energy producing segment of this of the meeting, you know, because people get palpitations. It's not a prepared speech. You don't know, you just don't know what is coming at you. And interestingly, everybody can speak. So if you do not raise your hand, I can call you out. So I'm just going to see how much I can help you develop your communication skills in the aspect of listening, thinking, organizing your thoughts, and speaking impromptu, you know, on your feet. So today, as your table topics master, I will be asking questions related to the theme, which is peace. And I'll also be encouraging you to use the word of the day as much as possible, which is harmony. So I've divided the questions into 5 categories, and there is, interestingly, just only 1 question per category. So are we ready, and who is starting? I'd like you to show your hands, please. Otherwise, I'm going to start calling names. After 11 seconds, I will start calling names. I'm not sure that I can see the hands, so who's going to help me call out the names? I'm not sure I can see any hands.
All right.
There's any.
We have 1 volunteer, Toastmaster Mufti.
You have 1 volunteer. We have 1 volunteer already. Okay, so please listen attentively. We have 5 categories. There's game, quote, freestyle drama, experience, and debate. What category do you want to play in today?
Experience.
I'm sorry?
Experience.
Experience. Okay, so here goes. So peace is an elusive concept for many people. So please, can you share moments or activities that bring you the most peace? Maybe some of us could learn from your experience. Over to you now. Your time starts now.
If I heard you correctly, my name is Toastmaster Mufti Iboyi. You said I should share a moment that I can understand peace, that I have felt peace, the moments that I've felt peace. Yes, there are many moments, activities that I've done that has given me peace. I think for me, the activity that gives me most peace is helping others, reaching out to others. I've said it before, I think in the meeting past, is the measure of a life, the quality of a life is not by its acquisition, duration, or it is by its donation, how much you have contributed. Nothing really makes sense until you can share it with others. So my moments of peace is to be able to reach out to people, to be able to help those in need, to be able to end each day, having made the world a better place. Because I tell people every day that the world is ours to develop. It's what you share. Being like life is a seed. What you share is what you get. So I go out through life with each day. Every time I get to help people, that's when I enjoy peace. When I bring a smile to someone's face, when I meet a particular need, and when I was able to get that place, that Zen place, that place of peace, I now made it a part of my life. So that's why what I do every particular day, every part of income that I earn, I take out a piece. I take out a piece of it to share some love so that I can have peace and live in harmony with the world that I'm in. Thank you, and over to you, table topics, madam.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Toastmaster Mufti. So this is somebody that is in the Ministry of Helps, deriving peace from making people happy. Right, so we've got 4 categories left. So that's game, quote, drama, and debate. Who's next? 11 seconds, I'm counting down if I don't get any volunteers.
I nominate Toastmaster or guest Sammy.
Sorry, I didn't get that. You nominate who?
Sammy, guest Sammy.
Toastmaster Sammy, over to you. So what category would you like to play in? You have game, quote, drama, and debate left.
Game.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Game. Did you say game?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so your audio is a little bit low, but the game says, create an acronym with the letters PEACE, P-E-A-C, P-E-A-C-E, to reflect various perspectives of peace with some narratives of explanation. Acronym with the letters PEACE, to reflect various perspectives with some narratives or explanation. Over to you, Toastmaster Sammy.
I really don't have any idea about how to. Can you explain it better?
Okay, so I'll explain. P, for instance, could mean potato. Maybe peace represents potatoes to you. So what does P mean? Is it potatoes? Is it Panadol? Maybe you get a headache, you take Panadol, you find peace. So what does P mean to you? Just create an acronym. What does E mean to you? A mean to you? And just give us a narrative around it.
Okay, so P would mean peace, as in, that doesn't make sense. P would mean passion. A would mean, E would mean essence. A would mean what would it mean here? Passion, essence. A would mean access. C would mean conscience, and the last E would mean effort. So yeah, I guess that's my.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sammy. So that was a tough jump question game, right? So I promise to repent. The other 3 segments are very simple. So what we have left is the quote, the drama, and the debate. Who's next? Counting down now. 5, 4, 3, 2,
I'd like
1.
to volunteer.
Josephine. Sorry, who's volunteering who?
Essay.
All right, so essay. So quote, freestyle drama or debate. Choose your category.
Freestyle drama.
Freestyle drama. Okay, so here goes. Act 1, scene 1. Peace, peace. How many times did I call you? Why do you behave like this? Complete the drama within your time allotted.
Every time I tell you, make sure you close the gates. Make sure you close the day. You know we are not at harmony with our neighbors. Now they've entered, their goat has entered our compound and eaten all the yam. Peace, peace, every time. How many times did I say, hey God, which kind of children do I have? Is it my own? I did not kill my mother, so you will not kill me. We are not at harmony with these people, yet every single time, every day, if it's to be pressing for now, they will see you. If it's to be sharping out, they'll be seeing you. Close the gates every night. How many times will somebody repeat themselves? Come, Papa, peace, because this matter, I am tired of it. I don't understand. What is it? What is it? Am I the only mother? Peace, 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 peace. How can you be peace and you will not be giving us peace? What will we eat now? The goat has eaten all the yam. And you know how goats are hungry and stubborn. What will we do? Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Do you know what? Peace, just leave my front. Leave my front. Leave me peace. Let me have peace. Leave me. Thank you.
So that person, the Toastmaster that just spoke, is the next person that is receiving an AMVCA award. Please, let's just watch out for her. Thank you so much for that essay. So we have only two categories left. That's the quote and the debate. Who's going next?
Toastmaster Mercy has her hand up.
Toastmaster who?
Mercy.
Toastmaster Mercy. Quote and debate, please choose your, what's your pleasure?
Quote.
Quote. Right,
Yes.
so here goes. Only if individuals become peaceful will the world be peaceful. Only if individuals become peaceful will the world be peaceful. Please explain this quote and share your position on it, whether you agree or not.
Only when individuals become peaceful will the world become peaceful. Thank you, Table Topic Master. Wow, is what I would say. First and foremost, it's important what you have on the inside is what you exude. The good book says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Indeed, I agree with the quote. If you don't have peace, how can you make your environment, your family, your community have peace? Peace starts with you, first and foremost. So, indeed, you have to have peace with yourself. For your family, it has to start with your family. Peace with yourself first, peace with your family second, peace with your community. Then we now go into the country at large. Indeed, you need harmony to live with people. You need peace to be harmonious with your community. You need peace to be harmonious with yourself. What can I recommend on how to have peace? Number one, take care of yourself. I had to do my nails. It starts with you. Do your hair. Drink a lot of water. Smile more. Laugh more. Have zero expectation of people. That way, you have less frustration with other people. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Peace. Obviously, thank you so much, Mercy. Obviously, you are somebody that finds peace from within. You know, it's really good to hear that. So the final category is in great harmony with this last one, and that is debate. Who is going for that?
Table topics, Master. I think we have run out of time, unfortunately. So we might need to proceed to the next segment.
Thank you so much to all that have participated. It's been an enriching session. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fumi. That was very beautifully done. I am so sorry I had to cut you short because I was enjoying that. I loved the innovation with your style of table topics. Thank you so much. Madam VPE, will we be having the breakout session?
No, we wouldn't.
All right, just as a way of lightening the mood a little bit while we go into the next session, in the chat box, just type who you think is the most peaceful person on the call and why. In the chat box, just let us know who on the call you think is the most peaceful and why you think they are the most peaceful. At this point, while that is going on, we will be moving into the prepared speech segment. And today's prepared speech segment is a special one because it's not every day we get to get presentations from experienced speaker. But before I delve into that, I will be welcoming the evaluator, and that is the person of Toastmaster David Dokon, to tell us what to expect of this presentation segment. Toastmaster David, the virtual podium is there.
Hi, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I crave your indulgence to please allow me keep my camera off until I'm ready to evaluate. I'm sure it would not disrupt the harmony of today's meeting. Our next presenter, just as you can see on your screen, is Toastmaster Diteri Adebisi, and I have the privilege to evaluate Her Excellency, the president of this great club. Our objective in one sentence is to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Now, I need to say this, that our objective is not to bore us with a longer speech, but to, of course, deliver an enriching, accelerating, and engaging speech that would increase the harmony of our thoughts and of course of our lives. And I look forward to evaluating this speech. I'll come back at the end of the show and give our feedback. Thank you, Toastmasters, Tosin, and continue to, of course, delight us with a harmonious meeting today. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster David. Thank you. On that note, I would like to welcome our wonderful president and Dr. T.M. Tari to present her, presentation, to give her presentation titled Mind Matters. Mind Matters, Toastmaster Tari.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, something seems to have gone off here. Toastmaster Essay, please, are you able to share?
I can
you
see your
my
screen,
screen?
Toastmaster Tari.
We can see your screen.
Okay, so something went, okay, so I think back on now, right? So I'm trying to put it on slideshow. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here.
Press F5. Press F5.
Okay, thank you. F5. Okay, so I don't want to waste time. So Essay, I'll stop sharing. Please share from your end. So while Essay is coming on, once again, good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and thank you very much for having me in your faces. I'm sure my time has started counting already. Pardon me. While sailing through life, generally, there are some things we pick up, right? And some things we drop off. Some people acquire the skill of making money. Some people acquire the skill of great cuisine, either making great cuisine or eating great cuisine, as some people here that I know of. Some people acquire academics. They acquire one degree after another, one degree after another. And so it's different strokes for different folks. I don't know what it is for you. But in the course of my life, I have acquired certain skills that I think I am proud of. And one of such skills is actually the habit of practicing what I allow into my mind and how I express myself with the things I have in my mind. Our environment and the things you are exposed to go a very long way to shape us into the people we are. As such, it takes someone with a very strong mind or great resilience to actually become or exhibit positive characteristics even in a negative situation. There is a quote by a professor of psychology called Noam Spancher, and he says, mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's how you drive and not where you are going to. Yes, I brought in the term mental health. The things we allow to occupy our mind ultimately leads to what kind of mental health we have. Is it good mental health or is it poor mental health? Is it good mental well-being or poor mental well-being? So today I'm going to be taking you on a journey, and I hope it's going to be interactive because I'm going to ask certain questions, and I would love you to respond when I ask those questions about what it means for your mind to matter. The mind matters. My mind matters. I'm guessing your mind matters as well. And so go with me on this journey, and hopefully at the end of it, we'll be able to learn a thing or two about mental health. Interestingly, mental health is for everyone. It's not just for the professionals. It's not just for the medical doctors or people in the healthcare industry. It is for the ordinary man, ordinary woman, the ordinary Nigerian or foreigner walking the streets of wherever they are. Talking about the streets, what do you see in this slide? On to the next slide, please, Essie. In one word, can you tell me what that slide depicts? Yes, this very one. Anybody, you can unmute and tell me, in one word, what do you see here?
Chaos.
Chaos. Any
Traffic.
other word?
Traffic.
Traffic. Any other word? Amazing. There's so much to look at here.
Hustle.
Hustle, the very Nigerian word, hustle. Not hustle, but hustle. Chaos, traffic, hustle, overcrowding, smell, bodies, humans, overpopulation, underserved. Those are the things I see when I look at this picture. And if you zoom in closely on one of the Danfo buses, you will see the name of this country. I'm sure nobody even needs to guess. We all know where this is. Someone says multitude. It takes a strong mind to grow up in this environment and actually become useful in life, I dare say. It takes a lot to go through the experiences of living in a place like this, especially so densely populated, and coming out on the other side and you're actually sane. Some characteristics of this particular environment I can give you. A child is born every 4 seconds. Imagine that. So why would we not have a population of 216 million as of now? A person dies every 14 seconds in this environment. One person dies every 14 seconds. For me, that's a lot. One person jackpass every 9 minutes from this environment. I don't think that's even nearly enough. And I'm sure that that statistic is not quite correct. But the picture I'm trying to paint is that this is a lot to take in. And if you grew up in this environment, then you know that it really will take a lot more for you to have your sanity and your peace of mind. On to the next slide, please. And so many things inundate us from the north-south. Bad news comes at us every day. Relationships may or may not be in harmony. People struggling with their finances, people struggling with the stock exchange, inflation, pollution, terrorism, even personal issues like what to eat is an issue. Personal issues like how long you should exercise a day or if you should exercise at all to lose weight is an issue. So many things to do, so many places to go, so many things to accomplish. And all of these can put you under if you do not have the exact power of the mind. On to the next slide, please. Now, one of the things as Nigerians, as I'm sure almost 100% of us on this call are Nigerians, one of the things facing us this past week was inflation. The dollar against the naira, it is, I don't even have the words to describe what it is right now, especially for us Toastmasters who know that very soon we'll be calling on you to pay your dues. How is it that $1 is almost equivalent to 1,000 naira? unimaginable. And so I'm going to take you on a journey today on mental health. In the midst of all of this chaos, how do we keep our sanity? For us to know what the disorder is, we have to know what the right order is. So what is a healthy mind? What are the causes of mental health issues, especially in our environment? How do we know when somebody needs help? And how can we help this person? Next slide, please. The World Health Organization has defined mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual, you and I, realize our own abilities. That's one. We can cope with the normal stresses of life. That's two. We can work productively and fruitfully. That's three. And then finally, we're able to make our contribution to the community. If I give you 2 or 3 seconds to look at this again and ask yourself, are you actually able to cope with the normal stresses of life? Do you actually realize your own abilities as of now? Do you feel that you can work productively and fruitfully where you are right now? And are you able to contribute your quota to the community where you live? Food for thought. Next slide, please. So what is normal mental health? What is a healthy mind? A healthy mind is, first of all, an editing mind. We all know what editing is. You have a paper to submit, you've written all you need to write, you give it to somebody to look at, and the person makes corrections. And then you take out those unnecessary bits. You expunge them from the document and you focus on the meat of the matter. That is what an edit is, and that's what an editing mind is. Are you able to take in all manner of things from the environment? But at the end of the day, you're able to expunge the things that are quite unnecessary. If you're able to do that regularly, then you have a healthy mind. A healthy mind also keeps judicious grip on the faucet of fear. We are inundated with so much insecurity, poverty, illness, fear of the unknown. But when your mind is able to keep a grip on the faucet of fear, then you are said to have a healthy mind. A healthy mind has compartments with heavy doors that shut securely. In other words, I'm at work and I'm not really bothered about what is going on in my home because I realize I'm supposed to be focusing at the work in hand. That shows that my mind is healthy. And if I'm able to do this consistently, yes, then I have a healthy mind. A healthy mind can quieten its own buzzing preoccupations to focus on the world at present. It means you're able to take control of what you're thinking about. I'm listening to a client or listening to a patient telling me about his or her problems. And all of a sudden, my mind wanders off. And I'm beginning to think about, oh, I forgot to bring out the soup from the freezer this morning. That is preoccupation that is not necessary at this very point. So am I able to focus or refocus? Because thoughts will definitely come in. But am I able to refocus on the discussion at hand? If I'm able to do that consistently, then I have a healthy mind. Next slide, please. So after having said all this and having what healthy mind is, we need to talk about how do we know what an unhealthy mind is? Let's say you can click, please. Things we face each day on the road rage, bus drivers coming out of nowhere when you're trying to make a left or right turn and they insult you and tell you, you be like, get eye. Meanwhile, you're on your right path. It happens to us every day. Next, please. Just keep clicking. News from social media, Facebook, Instagram, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the wanted and the unwanted. We have them all around us. Terrorism, kidnappings. In the past week, I cannot tell you how many people I have heard of who have been kidnapped on the way to somewhere, one place or the other. I mean, it stares us in the face each day. Next, please. Poverty, definitely with us. People, brain drain, people leaving the country in droves, indirectly impoverishing the country. That is with us every day. And if you're working in an industry such as mine and people are leaving, you know that your work kind of doubles or triples because people have left the shores. Next, please. And then we have job loss as well. People losing jobs because the economy is shrinking and businesses have to keep afloat, so they have to let some people go. These are things, everyday matters that inundate us. And whether we are living in a cave or living in a mansion somewhere, these things will come at us. Let us look at some statistics of mental health in this country where we live. Next slide, please. It said that 1 in 4 people have some form of mental health disorder. And so we are 23 on this call. So if I count 1, 2, 3, the 4th person has an issue. 1, 2, 3, the 4th person has an issue. So you can imagine how predominant it is. And yet we don't talk about it as much as we should. yet we don't bring it to light as much as we should. Next, please. It's also said that women are more prone to mental health disorders because the entire female psychology and physiology is controlled by hormones, and hormones also cause mental health issues. Next, please. Even though we are 216 million in this country, we have only 250 registered psychiatrists in this country. Can you see the wide gap? Overpopulation and underserved. Next, please. 2 out of 3 people say their mental health disorders are triggered by workplace stress. Workplace stress, 2 out of 3 people. So the jobs, is it safe to say the jobs are killing us much more than they're helping us? Next, please. Also, people with mental health illness are still stigmatized, especially here in our environment, making conversations such as this difficult. So you see why I chose this topic to bring, because irrespective of the fact that this is a Toastmasters forum, we still have human beings here who will need to live their lives day to day. Next slide, please. So what are the predisposing factors? Please just click. What are the predisposing factors to mental health problems? First of all, genetics. It is said that if you have a family, a first-degree relative who has a mental health illness, right, or a mental disorder, then you're more likely to have that mental health disorder, most likely. And of course, the environment plays a major role in this. So you may have the genes, but you're in a good environment and it doesn't show, but you may have the genes and then you're in a negative environment and it comes even earlier than anticipated. So genetics is one, environmental exposures is another, whether before birth or after birth. The brain chemistry, the hormones is another reason why some people have mental health issues and some don't. Some people have postpartum depression, some don't. So brain chemistry. Stressful life situations, and people handle things differently. It's another reason why people have mental health issues. Chronic medical conditions. It's said that people who have chronic medical conditions like diabetes, hypertension, or illnesses like cancer that lead them to take drugs for a very long time eventually end up in depression, because it is tiring, honestly, to swallow tablets from day to day. A previous mental illness is also another indication that going forward, this may occur again. The use of alcohol, use of recreational drugs like cocaine, heroin, PEEF, and whatever name it goes by, marijuana, those are all predisposing factors to mental health problems. Also, traumatic experiences, such as those who have had military combat in the past, soldiers, people who have been to war, people who have been kidnapped, people who have been in prison. All this can predispose to mental health disorders. And then a violent blow to the head. Yes, it does happen because somehow the anatomy of the brain changes and then the behavioral changes come. And then, of course, down the line, the person is diagnosed as having a mental health disorder. So this is not all encompassing. These are just some of the predisposing factors. And so if anyone strikes a chord with you, or there's anyone who is off and you feel that one of these may relate to the person, then it's best to watch out for that person and see how best you can help that person. On to the next slide, please, Essie. So now that we know about the predisposing factors, it's also a good place for me to say that mental health is a continuum. It's either you're healthy or you're ill, right? And you dance in between the two. The trick now is that at what point do you stay predominantly? So if you have normal fluctuations in your mood, that's really normal. I might be feeling good today and tomorrow I'm not feeling so great and I really don't want to talk to anybody. That's normal. The important thing is that it passes, right? I may be able to sleep today and tomorrow I have difficulty falling asleep. My performance may be great today, but tomorrow it may be down. It doesn't happen like that every day. It is not persistent. And so I can be said to have good mental health at that point. But when you're consistently on the right far right corner of this continuum, then there is a problem. If you're consistently angry, consistently sad, persistently restless, not sleeping at all or oversleeping, having fatigue, aches, pains, unable to perform your duties at work or at home, unable to always isolating yourself from others and unable to interact or enjoy the things you used to enjoy, then that is a red flag. And that's, especially when it happens consistently for 2 weeks or more, depending on what condition it is, then that is a red flag. On to the next point, please. Next slide, please. And for those who are seen, I love this quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. He says, and those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Isn't it typical of all of us? Sometimes we see people act in certain ways and do certain things. And because we do not have an insight into where they are in the journey of life, we are quick to judge that this person is this way without trying to understand what exactly are the reasons what exactly is the reason behind why this person is behaving this way. And so when you see people carry out activities, do certain things that are to you abnormal, the best thing is not to point a finger and say, this one has gone off, but to actually find out the underlying cause. Why exactly is this person acting the way they are? What exactly could the problem be? Next slide, please. So what are the red flags? What do we look out for? Not just in ourselves, but in others. Now, some people have insight. Insight means that they're able to self-decipher when something is wrong, but others do not have that insight. And it takes somebody outside of them to actually see that something is actually wrong with them. So what are the red flags? Next essay, you can click. There are many of them. If you notice an adult or even a child, because children also have mental health issues, an adult or a child has problems with their memory, attention, or concentration, that's a red flag. If they begin to neglect their personal appearance and begin to appear disheveled, that's a red flag. Loss of interest in things that usually used to give them pleasure. They used to love watching football, but they couldn't be bothered anymore. They'd rather just sit in their rooms and not do anything. That's a red flag. Feelings of hopelessness or sadness, changes in sleep pattern, use of drugs, recreational drugs, thoughts of suicide, suicidal ideation, suicidal attempts even, significant drop in academic performance, especially in children. All these are red flags. Some people also go on to have physical symptoms like persistent headaches. This person doesn't have malaria or doesn't have any other thing, but the headaches are persistent. That's another red flag for mental health disorder, and especially for children, should actually be investigated. Next, please. So what do we do? How can we help? Spotting a red flag may be easy, but when you have spotted that red flag, what do you do? Now, I just put in some things that would harmonize with the acronym Pecten. Maybe that would help us remember. First of all, let us learn to prioritize mental health talks such as this. It isn't enough to talk about it once in a while, but even with your children, even with your spouse, even with your friends, learn to prioritize mental health talks. When you ask somebody, how are you? Really listen to what that person is replying. The person may say, I'm fine, but the next person should be, are you really fine? And if you're interested, that person would be able to open up to you. That brings me to my second point, which is empathy. You need to be able to bring yourself to that person's position. Empathize with the person. If the person opens up to you and you feel that this is beyond me and will probably the person will probably need extra attention, extra healthcare, then you need to point the person to that direction. Comprehensive healthcare. The hospitals are there for a reason. Healthcare professionals are there for a reason. Doctors are there for a reason. Lead the person to one or the other and let the person get the help they need. Talk therapy always does good. And it doesn't have to be a professional. It could be your sister, your sibling, your brother. It could be your pastor. It could be a trusted friend. Talk therapy always goes a long way to help. So when they want to talk and you have the time for them to talk, please listen and point them in the right direction. Also seeking expert opinion. Right. It's not enough to just give them your own piece of advice, but also seek professional help from professionals you know. Ask them questions so that you can talk to this person better and give them better information. And then finally, say no to stigmatization, because stigmatization leads people to actually close up. They do not open up when you stigmatize. And that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of people roaming the streets, utterly destroyed with no one to talk to and no help in sight. Next slide, please. And so what I want to leave you with this, self-care is how you take your power back. You need to deliberately and be conscious of taking care of yourself. And self-care isn't selfish. Self-care is just acknowledging the fact that you need to take care of yourself, but not taking away from somebody else. If people depend on you, you don't take away from them, but you need to take care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? Next slide. Good nutrition is ideal. Sleeping 7 hours or more per night is ideal. Exercise is ideal. These three will put you in a good mood most of the time. I don't guarantee all of the time, but most of the time. And that's how to have great mental health. Thank you very much, Toastmasters and guests. I hope I have said something that has resonated with you and something you can take out of here and actually put into practice. I leave you with this quote by Dan Millman. He said, you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting your thoughts control you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Back to you, TMOD.
Wow. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tari. That was beautiful. I indeed agree that we cannot overflog the issue of mental health. So thank you so much for sharing those gems with us. I hope that we all took notes, and more importantly, I hope that we all take time to assess our mental health and actually take action as much as we can. Thank you very much once again, Toastmaster Tari. At this point, we will be moving into the evaluation segment of our meeting, and this will be anchored by the general evaluator. I have introduced him earlier, and that is Toastmaster Chika. Toastmaster Chika.
Thank you very, very much for handing over to me. And now is the time for us to call out for our reports. We are going to be starting with the event which we just rounded off, and that's the manual speech. So the evaluator for Toastmaster Dr. Tari Adebisi would be Toastmaster David. Toastmaster David, the podium is yours.
So please, can you allow the table topics evaluator go first so that I can rearrange?
Yeah, a veteran at this thing now. You should have concluded. All right, no problem, no problem.
Please,
so we'll be
thank you.
giving a little time, and then we would come back to Toastmaster David. So for now, let's please go over to table topics evaluations, and that is going to be managed by Toastmaster Esereka. Toastmaster Ese.
Okay. Good evening. First, I want to apologize. I forgot I was the table topics master and I participated in the table topic session. So I would not be evaluating me. I would watch the recording and keep my evaluation. First off, well done to everyone who participated in today's table topic session. I want to first start by commending our table topics master, Toastmaster Daramola. You brought a very innovative and fun twist to the table topic sessions, and well done on that. Thank you for a beautiful session. First, we had Toastmaster Mufti. I love the fact that you volunteered and you spoke on an activity that gives you peace, which was framed around helping others. I loved how you gave a call to action for us to also learn to help others. And I also love the fact that your video was on while telling us about why you like helping people. Well done, Toastmaster Mufti. My only recommendation in giving table topics pitches, especially for someone like you who has become a seasoned Toastmaster, we always recommend the use of personal stories, share a verifiable data, tell an anecdote, or share a quote. You did share a quote, but we were not certain of the source. So we would recommend, if you're not certain of who the author of a quote is, rather than saying something like, oh, I'm sure you've heard me say this before, you can phrase it as, there's a popular saying I like to share that goes dash, dash, dash. That is a much more succinct yet professional way of sharing a quote you're not certain of the author. But thank you for telling us that you like helping others. I am someone who has witnessed and continues to witness how you are willing to help. Well done, Toastmaster Mufti. Our second table topics speaker was our guest, Sami. Create an acronym with the letter P. Toastmaster Sami, well done on managing a very difficult topic that would have flustered even seasoned Toastmasters. I love the fact that your video was on, you were willing to participate. You did something which we all are learning in communication, which is you asked for clarity for the question. I liked that you did that. And even if you weren't comfortable, as we could visibly see, you agreed to continue. And you did create an acronym by telling us about passion, essence, access. At one point, it felt like you were going to start rhyming, conscious, and effort. So thank you so much for your brilliant effort in what we have termed the tough jam question. Well done. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Mercy. I want to say distinguished Toastmaster Mercy, because the way you handle the table topic sessions shows someone who is very well in harmony with her table topics expertise. You had to speak on the quote that only if individuals become peaceful will the world become peaceful. You thanked the audience. Thanking the audience is one way for allowing us connect with you and believe that we are in harmony with each other. You also repeated the question to ensure you had a grasp of what was being said. I would recommend that, again, with sharing verifiable data and also mastering your audience, you also have to be careful because of the kind of diversity that exists within Toastmasters International. When you share a fact and say, oh, like the good book says, for those who might not be of the Christian faith or even of certain denominations within the Christian faith, they might not know what the good book is or what you're referring to. So would I suggest you can frame it as is said by the Bible, which is the good book among Christians like me. That just provides more context for people to know where you're sharing whatever quote, parable, or passage you're saying. I love the fact that in responding, you told us about how peace has to be from yourself, family, and then society. You also affirmed that you agreed with that code. And most importantly, you did something we love in Toastmasters, which is you gave us a call to action, or should I say calls to action, by telling us to smile more, laugh more, drink water. And as someone who is a big fan of doing nails, I love the fact that I could see your very beautiful nails and you use the props to tell us why we should learn to become more peaceful in ways we like and by caring for ourselves. All in all, it was a very fun table topic session. Thank you for teaching us that we should help others, Toastmaster Mufti. Thank you, Sami, for playing our acronym game. And thank you, Mercy, for telling us how to take care of ourselves. And most importantly, thank you, Toastmaster Daramola, for such a fantastic table topic session. Thank you, and back to you, our General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Eseogene, our esteemed Vice President Education. Just so that you do not leave here without getting some form of feedback, I think I would like to share some gems that I got from your own table topics session. You spoke dramatizing as the table topics master requested. So I would like to commend you for selecting a genre which you were very comfortable with. It's always important that we learn to play to our strengths. So it was no surprise to me when you said you wanted to do a topic that was affiliated to the dramatic arts. And then secondly, I realized, probably due to the relationship I have with you, that elements of your life as we know it played out in the conversation. Who would say they know Eseogene and would not understand that she's the goat? And that's why there had to be a goat eating a yam, right? And all of that shows that it's the content which we have within us that comes out of us both in expected and unexpected times. So thank you very much for being a shining example to that particular concept. But what would I recommend? For every time that I come out to speak, I'm always carrying two models in my head. The first model is, what is the thesis? What is the possible antithesis? And then what's the synthesis? What it actually means is, can I speak from a particular school of thought, speak to the other side, and then bring about a compromise? The second model is, who are the characters? What is the conflict here? And what is the resolution? So we had a very good story, but we couldn't see what conflict was being resolved. So eventually I'm like, oh, very nice, peace, left the door open. The mother has issues, her mother has issues with neighbors, but how exactly did that impact the world around them? Or how does it impact my own worldview? Other than the fact that I would not call my child Peace. I will never give birth to a child and name that child Peace because of the story that you have done today. So apart from that, I feel that it was a very beautiful speech that was done off the cuff, But let's always carry these models in our head. There should always be the characters, there should always be a conflict, and then a resolution. That's the way we tell our stories in the world that we live in. Having concluded on that, I would just like us to circle back to the manual speech evaluator, Toastmaster David Dokun. Are you ready now?
Yes, please, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you.
Go ahead, please. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Toastmaster Tari, thank you for that fabulous presentation. Mind matters. And I'll kick off my evaluation for you by giving you kudos for delivering a 22-minute long speech. You're shaking your head, I know. I love the way you started off. And by the way, evaluations are not just meant for the person being evaluated. It's expected that everyone else learns from this. I'll be prompt with the feedback I have for you. First off, I love the way you handled the first challenge you faced, your slides not popping up the way you wanted. You displayed a great level of comportment by quickly switching to your backup. And that's a lesson for everyone else listening. Do you have a backup for your slides when you are going to present? You had a backup, and that was great. You moved from that presentation to, of course, go ahead to, from that little glitch, to display harmony of thought all through that presentation. Your slides were good. I like when people use slides. They were not too wordy. You had pictures. So it was a great mix in there. I also love the fact that your presentation had rich and relatable content. Everyone on this call, I dare say, even though that's an absolute word, everyone on this call can relate with mind matters, especially if you have to buy bread that is now 800 naira instead of 600 naira. If you have to change dollars, you can relate with it. So absolutely spot on with the content at this time. A few things before I go to the other things you did well, a few things I would suggest you introduce in your future speeches of this nature. You had great statistics, Dr. Tari. However, I suggest that you be mindful of introducing or including the sources for your data. I heard things like a child born every 4 seconds. I heard things like 1 in 14 people dead. Women are prone to X, 1 in 4 people on this call. So approximately maybe 6 people on this call have mental health issues. I don't know, but who said that? By who? No, we didn't get that. Or maybe I missed it. However, it's important to always add those things. Second thing, at the end of your speech, that appeared like you were rushing to a close. Maybe because you had a lot to share. So that overload put pressure on you to quickly conclude without giving us a strong closing, or rather, to my own mind, a stronger closing that would have had call to action, tell us what you learned, what are you taking away, because we know that as a spectacular speaker, you need to have a strong opening and even a stronger closing. Hence, my recommendation is that you're mindful of overloading your slides or your content in such a way that you end up rushing off your closure. Another recommendation, which is my final one, is the use of anchor statements. For instance, if you had all through that presentation found something like, be mindful of your mind at all times, or something really corny that everybody can go away knowing that this was really the message of this presentation, it would have added a lot of value. Having said that, I super, super duper loved the sing-song, sweet sounding delivery that you gave today, because your voice was melodious, you had great phrases, it was top-notch in my opinion. And add to that the good slides, relatable content, your presence of mind to cope with pressure at the start, all those other things I mentioned in terms of recommendation, like bearing in mind content overload, referencing your sources, introducing an anchor statement, and closing with a bang. Take away all those things. You did well today. You represented yourself well. You closed on time. And I look forward to long speeches from you in the future. Thanks, Dr. Tari, Our Excellency, Madam President. And back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the evaluation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster David, for that very exquisite feedback that has been given to Toastmaster Tari. I would have loved to share mine, but maybe after the meeting, Doctor, would have a consultation. It's 15,000 naira per hour, so I can share my feedback. All right. Thank you very much for that, for talking about the mental health model and all of the various examples. You can see two different persons have spoken about statistics and how we reference them within a speech. I do believe that all of us are learning something. Having completed both evaluations for manual speech and table topics, I think it's now for us to call out for other reports. And the first report we'll be calling out for is that of the Harcourt and listening evaluator, who is none other than the digital analyst herself, Toastmaster Joy.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Data analyst said she wants to do consultation of 50K to make me a digital analyst. But thank you so much. So I'll first start by saying that we're doing so well as regards the use of hot fillers and such words. It was almost impossible to pick out any, just a few here and there, which I think could right. I suggest that we practice more with speaking, because that's what has helped us so far to be much better at this. I only heard a few you know, and these are repetitive words that we use to fill up the gap. So I didn't hear any arms and as. I just heard repetitive words. So I think with speaking more, possible to get rid of those and also being quite conscious of that. Quickly, I'll go to the next segment, which is the who said what, and it's to evaluate or test our listening skills. I'll start by saying the first one. Who said the expression, the tough jam question?
Toastmaster Tari.
I'm hearing two names.
Toastmaster Tari.
Toastmaster Tari.
Great. Toastmaster Tari, yes. Who has the same best quote as someone else on this call, and who said it?
Toastmaster Tosin, the Toastmaster of the day.
Nice one. Who said the phrase sing song melodious voice?
Toastmaster David.
Okay. Last but not the least, this one has a twist. Who is the evil man on this call that wants to charge 15K consultation after the call?
Toastmaster Chika.
Thank you. I'm back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. A round of applause for Toastmaster Joy. She has proven that we all are listening, and that's very good. Participation is very important in all of the meetings because we're actually in a learning session as much as we're also in a business meeting. The grammarian role is being played by Toastmaster Essay, so she will be coming up now to share with us our good use of grammar or not good enough use, as the case might be. Over to you, Toastmaster Essay.
Thank you, General Evaluator. For the proper use of or outstanding use of grammar that caught my attention, I really love the quote by Frederick Nietzsche that those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Thank you, Toastmaster Tari. There were words like disheveled, ideation, gems, selecting a genre, the use of anchor statements. That was by Toastmaster David. I really liked that. Sing songs, sweet sounding voice. I also enjoyed that one. And I love the very creative use of acronym with Pecten by our speaker, Toastmaster Tari, when she told us to prioritize. P, show empathy with E, seek comprehensive care, T for talk therapy, E for expert opinion, and N for say no to stigmatization. For our improper usage, I noted having said that being used in the context of explaining, I would recommend that we watch out, rather than say, having said that, just go ahead. It helps to be more succinct when we're giving feedback or talking. For example, rather than me saying, having said that Toastmaster Dari did well, I think she can do better. I'd rather just go towards Toastmaster Tari did well, as I shared. These are some suggestions I have. So I'd really recommend that a way to improve our general grammar would be to manage our repetitions, especially with words like, or phrases like, having said that. I noted 3 different speakers in today's meeting kept repeating that phrase. And finally, for the usage of the word of the day, Toastmaster Josephine used it twice. Toastmaster Tosin used it 3 times. Toastmaster Essay used it twice. Toastmaster Mercy used it twice. And she also used another form with the word harmonious twice. That was also done by Toastmaster David and Toastmaster Tari. I commend those 3, Toastmaster David, Mercy, and Tari, for not only using the word of the day, harmony, but also using on others form, harmonious. Harmony is the word of the day, and it remains when things seem right or suitable together. So let us all keep living in the harmony. And yes, for those who also used it in the chat box, thank you, Akanta. Please be in harmony with me despite my omissions. Thank you, and back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Toastmaster Josephine for the timers report.
Thank you very kindly, the general evaluator, for relinquishing control. Yes, my timers report, I must say that all of our speakers were in harmony with the usage of time. Toastmaster Mufti, during the table topic, spoke for 1 minute, 51 seconds. Intended Toastmaster Sami spoke for 1 minute, 40 seconds. Toastmaster Essay spoke for 1 minute, 11 seconds. Toastmaster Mercy spoke for 1 minute, 54 seconds. While for the prepared speech, Toastmaster Dr. Tari, she spoke for 22 minutes, 5 seconds. It was well within time. For the table topics evaluation, Toastmaster Essay, she did that for 5 minutes, 38 seconds. While the evaluation for the prepared speech supposed to last for 5 minutes, Toastmaster David did it for 4 minutes, 29 seconds. Then for our role players, the Arkansas stroke who said words, Toastmaster Joy did the evaluation for 2 minutes, 7 seconds. Toastmaster Essay, our grammarian, did ask for 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Thank you very much. We all used time judiciously this day, and we were all in harmony. And it's back to you, the general evaluator, Toastmaster Chika.
Thank you very much, my red leader. What came up to my head now was having seen that, but she already said, having said that, I don't want to use any having. Okay, with proof that all our table topic speakers were well within time during the course of their session, it's time to call for a submission of votes for best table topic speech. We can see displayed on our screens a poll that asks who was the best table topic speaker, single choice in bracket. And it's a mandatory question. That's why there's a red asterisk. So let us make our vote immediately. We submit and then get back to the meeting. I hope we've all voted. So let's take a few seconds for that.
Yes, you can.
And now it's time for my general evaluations. I would love to start by beginning from the very beginning. I came into the meeting around 5:13 p.m. and I realized that we already had members on ground and there were exchanges between the Vice President Education with the Toastmaster of the day, ensuring that all roles were filled out, which ensured that Toastmaster Mufti, who is the only sergeant in Mufti, could begin the meeting on time at 5:15 p.m. exactly. And we have been able to keep to our time management, so much so that this particular session I'm anchoring is meant to end at 5:50, but I have well over 14 minutes to spare if I conclude at this particular spot, at this particular point. But not concluding, I would continue by saying that we went into the introductions from the president, and from the president, we had seamlessly facilitated our meeting thanks to the Toastmaster of the day onto this very point. Having all these commendations, what recommendations do I have exactly to give? I realize that there is something, I think a particular culture that we have maybe between both sister clubs, that is the OICT Speakers Club and Pecten, which is the fact that we almost assume every time that everybody is a Toastmaster. And stemming from that, it almost seems like we do not give a form of brief at the beginning of our meetings to help guests understand what they had come in for. But thanks be to the timer who took her time while trying to tell us what the appropriate timing for each session was or would be, to actually explain what sessions we are going to have. And it struck me that is it possible that we could have that kind of introduction, maybe by the president or the Toastmaster of the day, besides even the role descriptions that are given by the role players, so that our guests are comfortable from the start. If we are able to do this, I believe it's going to improve our club quality, not our club meeting quality, not that our meetings are not quality already, but at least taking it a notch up. That happens to be my recommendation for this particular evening. I would love to say, Pecten Toastmasters, this was a great meeting, and every role player came with their A game and energy, even to consolidate for the one I'm unable to bring. I don't know why I had a headache before this meeting started, but apologies for that. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much, all the role players and my fellow evaluators. I do hope that we keep this tempo up throughout the rest of this year. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you to you and your team. We have nuggets that I'm sure we will be implementing to improve our communication and leadership skills. On that note, I would like to say it's been a wonderful meeting. I have enjoyed every bit of it. I hope you did as well. There's been nuggets here and there. I hope you are leaving today with something. And I just want to charge you this week and the next and the one after, make sure you choose peace over violence. On that note, I would like to hand over to the president as I say goodbye.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tosin. Please, can we all unmute and let's put our hands together for the awesome table Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Tosin Lorinleke. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tosin. I can't hear the hand claps. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tosin. Amazing, amazing job as always. Thank you for obliging us all the time, every time we call. Thank you for anchoring this entire meeting so smoothly. We have arrived safely at our destination. Hopefully, I don't think we lost anyone along the way. But if we did, well, it wasn't any fault of ours. Perhaps network got in their way as well. So thank you so much. Thank you to all the role players, table topics, master, evaluator, timer, everyone who played a role, grammarian, our counter. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Before I go on to give closing remarks, our divisional K director is here. The very distinguished Toastmaster DNA, I think he's still here. Right, so I'd like to call him up to the virtual lectern to give us a word or two. Toastmaster DNA, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you clearly, yes.
Okay, it's been an interesting 2 hours for me, because every time I spend at any event, to me, I take it as an investment. And for every investment, there should be a return. on investment. I want to tell you, sincerely speaking, that I have so much that I can count for ROI for spending 2 hours with you guys at Pecten. And I want to doff my cap for the president and our team for having put together another excellent and harmonious meeting in which everything went in perfect harmony. Congratulations for a good meeting done. I want to encourage us at Pecten to keep our eye on our goal, especially on our DCP goal. I want to encourage us at Pecten for every member to give speeches at every meeting. And I want to encourage us to keep training. And let me say, I asked the president before the meeting that, is there a training here today? And she said no, that there was a training at the last meeting. I want to correct the president and let you know that what you did today was a training. And I would like to have a copy of that slides. And I want to advise that you share that slide with the General Division K group. That was quite apt for a season like this. Not to waste much of our time, I just want to correct a little, some little corrections in the order of our programs. The table topic session should have the evaluation before the voting, because evaluation always influences voting. And the table topic session should come with voting, should come with evaluation before we move on to the other segment. Please, let's take note of that. And then let's also take note that the Toastmaster of the day should not be the one to introduce the team of the evaluator. The general evaluator had his team, and he will be the one to evaluate his team members. So all his team members will be introduced, and they will explain their role. So it is not the table topic master that will introduce the team members of the general evaluator, because if I were the general evaluator, I would sue the table topic master for usurping my role. You know, but I'm sure they are friends, so he wouldn't do that. I haven't said all that. That does not take anything away from the beauty of our speaking meeting today, and I look forward to always coming here again and again to hold meeting with us. I'd like to encourage us to join the after work call, the session later this evening, which is a district program, and is another session where I believe that we will learn a couple of things from. Nice being with you. Have a nice evening, everybody. Your Excellency, Toastmaster Tari Adebisi.
Thank you very much, DNA. Always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for honoring our invitation, and thanks for those words of advice. Since the onset of Pecten, I'm sure we've been doing things the same way, but thanks for the corrections. We will adjust our agenda. VPE, VP is smiling. We will adjust our agenda and let it reflect all of these corrections you give it to us. Thank you very much once again. So I just have 1 or 2 announcements to make. As a result of the inflation, we all know what's happening between Naira and dollar, you know, the drama happening around that. We as a club have decided that we would provide an account number where you can make instrumental payments for your dues. So rather than wait for dues renewal season, which is already around the corner, September, you can start now to chip in something every week, every month, however you want to do it. You can pay twice, thrice, depending on you. The renewal fee is still $45 US. I don't even know what to convert it into right now. I don't know what the Naira equivalent of that is, because everything changes every day. So if you're using 700 Naira, that should come up to about 31,000 or thereabouts. But whatever it is, whatever the conversion rate is, we will put all the information on the WhatsApp group. So please check the WhatsApp group. You will have the account details there, and you have the Naira equivalent to pay there. As soon as you pay your Naira, it will be converted to dollars just in case it rises further. That's the idea behind this. We don't want anyone to fall by the wayside. We want all our members to be able to renew their dues as it went due. So that's one announcement. Next announcement will be that next meeting will be on the 16th of August, and it will also double as our new members induction meeting as well. So all the new members, all the members we've added recently will be inducted officially on that day. So please make it a date. I see 2 or 3 of them here. I see 3 of them here. I think there are more, I'm not quite sure. But please make it a date. Ensure that you're in that induction ceremony in 2 weeks' time. Please, no excuses, just try and be there. And that day would also have a learning segment as well. So it will just do you real good for you to be present. And it will be a hybrid meeting. And you know what happens during our hybrid meetings? They're always fun. Yeah, it's not a dull, it's not a dull meeting at all. So please come. We're inviting everyone to be here again in 2 weeks' time. And then finally, I hear today is our area director's birthday, Toastmaster Ufoma. Is she here? She's here. Toastmaster for my happy birthday to you. Can we please unmute and tell Toastmaster for my happy birthday? It's her birthday and she's still graced our occasion.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Ufoma.
So who was wishing you happy birthday earlier? Somebody wished you happy birthday.
No, her name means peace. So we're celebrating her because her team is peace.
Oh, I get. Oh, because I thought it was her birthday. I saw someone say happy birthday even in the chat room. Okay, Toastmaster Ufoma, today is your day. As in, Ufoma means peace. And our theme of the day is peace. So happy Ufoma to each and every one of us. Whatever. So thank you so much, everyone. Joy, you're laughing. Thank you so much, everyone. Please click the link and fill the attendance if you haven't done so. And see you again in 2 weeks' time. We actually ended very early today, 5:47. See you in 2 weeks' time. Good night, everyone. Toastmaster Tosin, thank you very much.
I don't know if people can see.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Our tongue twister.
Bye.
No one's doing it, but I will do it.
Oh, tongue twister. Are you sharing? I can't see anything.
Oh, maybe it's my network.
Okay. It's showing. It's visible now.
I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. Toastmaster of the day, do you want to try?
Is it still here?
Yes, he is. Or President, you can try.
I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for attending. I would share the YouTube link when it's been uploaded. Thank you. Thanks to all our role players. Please remember to fill the attendance form as it's being shared on the chat box. And see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye. Stay peaceful.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. I didn't even know I was muted. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Great night.
Bye.